Hi guys, and welcome back to the vlog. Today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to show you guys what the difference is between a CW and a CI. CW is a cooperating witness, and a CI is, of course, a confidential informant. And what better example of a CW can I think of is our friend Sammy the Bull Gravano. Now, there's so much that I learned about him what cooperating witnesses are. They do not go out in the field and cultivate cases, work them from start to finish, from A to Z, which is what I do. So there's a big difference between a CW and a CI. Usually what happens is CWs get arrested and they flip on their co-defendants, their friends, their mother, anybody. They just flip in exchange for a reduced sentence or no jail time at all, which is the case with Sammy the Bull Gravano. Now, I always prided myself from the first day I became a confidential informant back in 1975 to learn how law enforcement works, what they can do, what they won't do, what they will do. I mean, I was always very much interested in the system, law enforcement system, the criminal court system. I learned very quickly on how it works and how a defendant plays his cards to get out of jail once he's been charged with a serious crime. And so that's why I was so blown away by the deal that the United States Attorney's Office gave Sammy the Bull Gravano. And I believe it was the Southern District of New York. And I think at that time in '91 it was Rudy Giuliani. I think. I'm not sure. So when you make a deal, you got to deal up, not down. In other words, if you got, say, a D felony, you're going to have to trade an A felony to get that D felony taken care of. So, although I did hear of cases where people got locked up for murder, they got reduced sentences. There's a bunch of things that they can do. They can move you to certain prisons that are much nicer than other prisons. There's a whole bunch of things that they can do. But when you murdered 19 people, that's the top of the food chain. Let's call it that, top of the food chain. There is no dealing. That's the guy that they want. When I found out that the United States Attorney's Office made a deal with Sammy the Bull Gravano and gave him 20 years for 19 murders. Now, true, all the people he confessed to, all 19, were all organized crime people. They were people that went by a different law, the Cosa Nostra, if I'm pronouncing it right, the mafia. And all of those 19 people that Sammy the Bull Gravano whacked did an offense against the family where the penalty was death. I mean, I think I think they just will break your legs if you do something wrong, minor things, throw you a good beating, and then usually everything is murder. They murder you if you go against them because then they don't trust you. So I was shocked when I heard that they only gave him 20 years. And most of that time was in hotel rooms with FBI agents. They took him all over the place. He testified at all kinds of grand juries. He either went to Congress or the United States Senate and testified before their committee. I don't know if it was Congress or the Senate. It was one of them. I mean, they were prancing him all over the place. And I knew 2 agents that were assigned to that detail, bodyguarding him when they were transporting him from wherever it was they were taking him to 26 Federal Plaza down in the federal courthouse. So out of the 20 years that they gave him, he did less than 5. So if you add up, what does that come? 20 murders, and he got like 30 days in jail for each murder. I mean, or maybe a little bit more than that. So I was shocked that they did that. And when they did that, which was really a pretty smart move on the government's behalf, because then everybody can be an informant. No matter what you did, no matter how many people you killed, everyone can be an informant. And that's exactly what happened. And it basically crushed the mafia, all 5 families. They were getting locked up under the 1986 RICO statute. They were getting locked up and they couldn't get out. They got locked up. They couldn't get, they would have to prove where the bail money came, prove where the lawyer money came. They took everything from them. And that goes for the drug dealers too. One second they were millionaires, and the next second they couldn't make a $2,500 bail. Couldn't do it. So that really blew my mind, and I learned a great deal from that. And then of course, they put him in the Federal Witness Protection Program. And then back in, I guess it was about 20 years ago, he got popped for selling drugs, ecstasy, in Arizona. And at that point, I knew agents that were involved with that or knew what he did. And basically, the FBI was kind of pissed off with him because he testified for some gangsters while testifying for the government. And they really didn't like that. So he was on the way out with them. And then when he got collared, then they just washed their hands with him. And he wound up doing over 17 years, and he just got out in 2017. So I sort of admire the guy for the balls that it takes to do what he did and how successful he was. I admire that. I'm not sure I give him a pass for murdering people the way he did, but nonetheless, that's what a cooperating witness is. And what I do is completely different. I cultivate cases. I go out on the streets and I buy up drugs. I'm always hanging with the wrong people for the right reason. And I cultivate. It's almost like a flower, a plant. You plant the seed and you see it blossom into an arrest. And that's what I did. And I was pretty successful. In 1989, I was the highest paid government confidential informant in that year. I think I made $189,000. I think that's what the amount is, somewhere around those numbers. It's in my book. But anyway, so I just wanted to touch base with you guys, and then I'm going to be doing another video about Michael Franzese. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name, Mike. But when I was blown away with the deal that they gave Sammy the Bull Gravano, and the deal that they gave Michael Franzese, because he's also a CW. And some of the things he's saying just doesn't add up with me. But I could be wrong. But we're going to save that for the next video. So, guys, I hope that I was able to explain the difference between a cooperating witness and a confidential informant. And I am the only confidential informant in the world that wrote a book, not once but twice, and put my picture on the book, on the first one, on the cover. So we're going to start getting into some of those adventures now. But I just wanted to clarify the difference between a CW and a CI, and I think I did it, and I know you guys got it. So again, guys, thank you for logging on today. And if you guys could please do me a big favor, just push that button bing, bing, bing. That's all it takes, a little push, and the thing will go up, and everybody will be happy. Thanks again so much for viewing, and God bless you all. Mwah.